Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Here we go. We're here.
And we're back.
We're here.
And we're back. And
We
we're
are
back.
here.
And we're back.
Slick and Thick
That's right.
is in this bitch.
That's
and today
right.
we got a guest. Slick,
Today.
hey, first of all, I'm Slick, the one talking right now, Mickey Gall. Over here, we got his royal thickness, Gerard motherfucking Michaels.
That's right.
And today, we got a special guest, a good friend of mine, my man Enzo, a.k.a. EA, a.k.a. Real1, FKA Enzo Amore.
Yes.
How you doing?
Any other? Is there any other ones I'm missing?
Muscle Marinara, Smack Talker Skywalker, bro. I got the gift of gab and the gift of jab. What we got over here?
The 5-knuckle shuffle. Are you soft?
Every
Let's
time
go.
you get an intro,
Are you
intro, can I call you Jerry? Do you hate that?
Definitely
He
not.
fucking hates that.
Literally
Why do you hate it
anything
He's
so
gonna
soft.
cut
much?
this out of the podcast.
Literally,
cut
That's
it
so
out.
funny.
Over.
You want
I
no,
love
no,
it.
fuck.
Now the whole
No,
internet
no, no,
knows.
no.
Now the
We
whole
shut it down.
internet
We
knows.
shut it down. We
Start
shut it down. They
over.
know not to.
Start
They know.
over.
They know not to.
Yeah.
Anyway,
They know
why
not
do you
to.
want to call him Jerry so bad?
Oh, no, I love it. So I think that every time you get intro, that Shawn Michaels theme song should play.
He did it
real
last
quick.
time
Yeah.
too.
Because you got the Michaels.
We got to get him mad.
You got to get that Shawn Michaels drop to hit.
I'm just a thicky boy.
He was singing that in the other room.
I'm not your boy. Thicky boy.
He was singing that in the other room.
You need
Deadass.
that.
And that's your guy, right? Shawn Michaels. That was your guy.
Now you're breaking kayfabe. People are supposed to think this is Friday, Mick. Haven't you? Fuck, man. We're live on Friday. I wasn't singing in the other room on the Monday
Live.
podcast.
We're not faking live.
All right.
We're not faking.
We're not
live.
faking.
much for
We don't
kayfabe.
fake.
I
We
don't
got the
fake.
real one here.
We're
and the reason why
authentic.
he's here is because
Authentic.
we're the realest podcast.
We are the realest podcast.
We talk real shit.
We really do.
Yeah,
100%.
baby.
Yeah.
I love it. Bring
Yeah.
me,
So,
me in the fold,
Motherfucking
motherfuckers.
in
Thicky
the
Smalls.
fold.
So what's up, man? What's going on with you? Is that
wow.
real
What
diamonds?
up, EA?
Oh, dude, these things. Look at these.
Are those real diamonds?
You see they
In this economy? That's outrageous.
They yeah. I hope
My
they're not
diamonds
blood
shine
diamonds.
because they
dude. I hope-
really
I hope-
diamonds.
Those are
I hope Leo.
all my diamonds shine because they conflict diamonds. I smuggled them in.
I say really, really.
Yeah,
Really,
man.
really.
You know what? This thing weighs a lot, and it's not probably good for my neck. But in the long run, yeah, I might have to deal with that. But I think that
little
the
up
pro
and down.
wrestling, I could probably blame for any neck issues I really have.
Yeah.
Speaking of issues, I heard you had back surgery
Fucking
today.
back surgery, brother.
Dude, what the fuck?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
hey,
I've
that's
avoided
charge
that
it to the
shit.
game,
Fuck,
brother.
Man, I know,
Charge it to the
dude.
game.
I should have been.
You know,
Ugh.
that's a risk we take.
Yeah, it is the risk we take. And speaking of risks, I took a major one. I'm still a little sore from it. I had a fatal four-way dumpster match with a
Fuck yeah, you
dwarf.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a dwarf. That's what I call
see
him.
that
You know what I mean?
Now the guys.
Because as I would say when I'm out there on the microphone and the crowd work, I would say, "There's only one word to describe you, and I'm gonna spell it out for you: DWARF, dwarf." Because
That's his
technically
old thing.
speaking,
Yes.
That's the proper term.
Technically
Oh,
speaking,
no,
that's
little
the
person.
proper
I
term.
think it's little
Yes.
person.
Hey,
Little
fuck
purpose.
it. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
went with
I was
dwarf.
thinking the whole time I thought he was
it.
right too.
I googled
Is
it.
it little person?
I
I was like,
googled
it's
it.
it's
It
not
was
the
dwarf.
M word.
Dwarf?
It was dwarf.
It's not the what?
It's not the M
It was
word.
dwarfism.
M.
The scientific doctor explanation is dwarfism.
Trust the science.
These kids got the dwarfism,
They
and that's
do
why
not
they
like
don't-
midget.
Yeah.
You
Let
can't
me-
call them that, but you know what I did do
Can't.
in another promo. Speaking of, because I want to get into stand up. Just got the itch the other day. I went to the Stand in New York City and fucking, felt all the blood leave my brain and go below my waist.
Yeah. It's
Ready.
like it's everything you love about pro wrestling without any of the fucking
But
pain.
you said we
right?
can't
Like,
use the word midget, right? So
Yeah.
don't use the word midget. Anyway, I in a promo because he's Spanish. His name is Micro Man, right? And he's from Mexico. So I said, I called him. I went, "Listen up, mi gente." I don't speak Spanish. That sounds like the word I was looking for to describe someone like you. And I don't know what mi gente is on the real.
Mi gente.
But it means
Jorge.
my people. So I figured out a way to use it in a sentence that made sense either way.
Yeah.
But
Viva la raza.
I called them mi gente.
Weren't you messing with Juventud Guerrero?
Yeah, I just had a match with Juventud Guerrero at a place. Dude, I knew nothing about it. Somebody just was like, they want you to wrestle Juventud. Will you take the match?
That's wild.
And I'm like, hell yeah, dude. I don't care where.
WCW back in the day. Juventud Guerrero, man.
Juvi.
Luchador.
I don't
So
know.
a couple of the guys
I know
here
Bill Goldberg.
from
Hell yeah,
Gas
you do.
Digital.
You know?
Speaking
I
of
don't
Bill
know
Goldberg,
Juventud.
I hit Juventud Guerrero with a jackhammer in the match.
shit.
We didn't talk about it in the back. See, people don't know a lot of wrestling is improv, and when Juventud's a pro like he is, and I'm a pro like I am, we didn't talk about shit. We just went out there and did the damn thing, right? You know what I mean? Because I wanted to be in the opener. I told the guy because I was going to go down to Philly to see the Giants play in the playoff game. And it was
Good thing you saved yourself the fucking.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
Ooh,
So I had a
fuck,
ticket.
fuck.
So I had a ticket, and it was 8 p.m. match against Juventud. The kickoff for the Giants Eagles 8:20. So I told the promoter, I'm like, dude, you got to put me in the fucking opener. In the opening match, I'll give you 15 minutes, and I got to get the fuck on the road to go to this game. Well, P.S. I get out of the ring, and the score's 14-0, and I was like, all right, I guess I ain't going.
Yeah.
So I stuck around.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Where do we find that? You and Juventud.
Dude, I don't
Locking horns.
I have no. I think it was the place is called XPW, which I did not know, and I did not know anything about the promotion, the promoter. I get in the ring, right, and I do some typical Enzo shit. I mean, fucking Real1 shit, whatever you want to call me. I fucking, I get in the ring and I'm like, yo, count this motherfucker out, yo, to the ref. They're like, the fans look at me and they're like, there's no rules here at XPW.
Oh, you got to kill his ass.
Fuck, bro.
You got to kill his ass.
I was like, fuck.
Finish
me.
only. That's my shit.
So-
Someone trademark. Finish only MMA.
Zach Amico, Gas Digital loves Zach Amico. He
Yeah,
was
he's funny as
actually
fuck.
talking about. He wanted to stick around and talk to you. He was there, and he said,
No shit.
You were.
Oh,
you
where
were.
the fuck is he?
You were none too happy. You were in a white jumpsuit, and they got some shit on you, and you were very upset about it. Is that true?
Oh, yeah, at the end of the night. I mean, not only were the Giants getting their ass kicked, some guy was bloodied the fuck up. Bloodied the fuck up
I
and
love
nudges
Enzo.
into my white fucking Giants. Michelin-esque
Giants took 2 L's that night.
Throwback,
Oh,
beautiful.
fuck.
My mom washed it off fucking hot water.
Really?
Okay, yeah.
Little.
Come on. When
little
I went
bit of
home.
a little bit of the. What's it called?
I had a flight
The
the next-
secret is what do they call it?
Club soda?
No, it's not
Ginger
the
ale? I
secret.
don't
The
know.
real secret is shit.
I'm not a
hydrogen
baker.
peroxide.
Yeah, I knew that was a job for my mom. When I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I got to get
She'll
this
take
thing
care of
home.
it.
I literally drove all the way back to straight.
So you got mad? That's what Amico said?
Yeah, he was.
Somebody
like,
nudged
he-
me,
he
and
was
I
like,
just looked up at him, and I just fucking
There was like some
clenched
sort,
my
according to
jaw.
Those
I think,
beautiful, crazy
Oh, I mean,
eyes.
if anybody would have fucking, you know what I mean, talked to me the wrong way in that moment.
Apparently, it was very
My man
apparent
Enzo.
to the audience that you were very upset in the moment. You were.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
I love
apparently.
that.
Yeah, apparently it was
Fuck
very
yeah.
upset to the audience that that this death match, this guy was bleeding everywhere and it bumped into you.
I couldn't believe it.
And this poor guy in a fucking all
Not
white
only that, that
Bro,
guy
he comes out
jumper,
in Nikes.
Yeah,
he comes
yeah,
out clean.
hillbilly blood all over him.
And not only that, the guy who bumped into me was wearing whitey tighties and a white dress shirt with a tie. I turned around. Somebody nudged my arm. I turned around. I looked up at this fucking guy. I was like, holy fucking shit, dude. Where am I right now in my life that this just
Jesus.
fucking happened? I should have been at that fucking game. Instead, I took this match against Juventud
Say
Guerrero.
Well, who's the guy
And I mean,
that's fucking bleeding
so
like
not
that
only,
in tidy
dude,
whities? That
this
guy.
was the crazy shit. So thank God I was in the opener because this place, I had no idea what I was getting myself into because I never wrestled on the indies before, right? So imagine I don't know where I go, who I'm running into, and I quite frankly don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, give me my money when I
Let's go.
show up and I'll have a match. Nobody talk to me about it. When I get out there, we'll have a good time, right? So, I had a fucking great experience working the indies these past couple years. I've been wrestling now again. Well, yeah, I guess it's been since COVID, so it's almost 3 years. I've been in and out of the ring again.
When you say indies, are you
The
would you consider,
independent
like,
wrestling
Yeah, but
scene,
like would you
like-
consider like Ring of Honor? Is that considered like an indie or?
Ring of Honor? I mean, I don't know. They're not an indie. I guess I don't fucking.
And that's kind of like the regional shows in MMA, like not like the major promotions. The
Dude,
indies.
this shit could happen at a bingo hall. I need y'all to do some math here, okay?
Yeah.
100 motherfucking people. You can fill 150 people, 200 people, okay? Small room. But if every single person is going to buy a fucking picture with you and an autograph, 30 a piece or combo for 50.
$3,000.
Combo for 50.
Paper.
You're getting paid the same amount of money you'd get paid to be on Monday Night Raw.
No shit.
You think I'm fucking playing?
No
You
shit.
think I'm fucking playing?
Monday Night Raw, live national
Different
television.
strokes for different folks, baby. If you're a fucking top guy on the card, you're probably making millions. If you're a guy who's just cracking the fucking surface, or if you're a rookie from NXT going to Raw, like, you know, you might make a few G's.
How many dark matches are there before Raw goes live? Like, how many guys are out
Yeah, and
there?
it also depends on what you did that night. In the carny wrestling world where, you know, the money's negotiable based on your reaction and what kind of violence.
How many matches
really?
are there
Wow.
in I like that question. You said how many matches are there in like a dark
8
show?
matches on a card in pro wrestling,
Okay.
typically.
So
A WWE card,
No shit.
Four live.
Intermission after post 3, intermission after, you know, after 5, and the best spots you want to be on the card, the main event, obviously, the opener,
Yeah.
and then the first half main event, which is right before intermission. Send them home happy. They usually put like a good guy wins right before intermission, so everybody goes out and buys merch.
So
There's-
they
there's
only
still,
do
like,
4
facing
on
you?
the televised? Like you were
I
talking
have
about
no
the dark
idea
matches?
how many matches. Dark match happens. Like, for instance, you would book John Cena on the dark match, right? So you advertise John Cena to be at Monday Night Raw, and you want to keep the fans there to watch Raw. But John Cena's not even going to be on Raw. He's not going to be on TV. The second the TV ends, John Cena comes out, and he kept the house there to wait around the whole time to see his ass.
No
Okay.
shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
So, like, the main attraction probably come back out. Like, they might even advertise, like, John Cena and Enzo and Cass versus AJ Styles and Gallows and Anderson, the club versus... And that's the match that's going to be on the pay-per-view.
Sure.
But locally promoted as the dark match or just a match that's going to happen. And if you don't happen... You heard it all day, all night. You get flyers that say that match is happening, and it hasn't happened yet. TV ends, and then we come out at the end. That kept you there. So, like, when I first got called up, I was doing dark matches with John Cena and Big Cass as a 3 tag matches. And we were working with John every dark match to, like, keep the house there. And John wasn't really on TV a lot. He was just kind of kept there to keep the house.
Now, one thing I didn't realize is that you guys work in between all of the TV matches, like every day. There's a different match in a different city, like pretty much every day.
Yeah, definitely let's avoid talking about wrestling. I got to get good at this fucking podcast comedy thing.
Fair enough.
Vince McMahon needs that money.
Fair enough.
Hey,
Vince
speaking
is
of,
back.
all right, I got one.
Yo,
One of
by
my
the
favorite.
way,
One of my favorite.
Weed's
Enzo,
legal in New Jersey, bro. Weed's legal in New Jersey. And
Hey,
you
I'm about to
left,
say one of my
and you
favorite
left.
quotes by you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
The
always
plastic
be in
bag.
Jersey.
The
You know
plastic
that,
bags
brother.
aren't. So
Yeah,
But
plastic
just-
bags
did you ever-
illegal.
Did you ever think you'd see a day?
Legal weed.
It's like illegal
Fucking
weed.
A, bro. It's happening
Ducking
everywhere.
in and out of
Make that money.
alleyways growing up.
It's a lot
Like,
You
better.
can smell it everywhere.
yeah, it's a lot better than taking a trip out to Camden. That's for sure.
yeah, Camden sucks.
Yeah,
though.
right. Yeah, go get robbed. But anyway, one of my favorite Enzo quotes ever. This is when we were first becoming friends. He goes, "I never read not one book, not one time, never. So why should I be reading them when I should be writing them?" And I was like, I like this motherfucker.
That's the way I always feel, man. Hey, bro, if
I
I'm
fucking
watching
love that
some
shit, bro.
even with movies, I don't suspend my disbelief watching somebody else's fucking fanatic vision or frantic vision. Quite frankly, that fucking weird fish fantasy that cocksucker Cameron James had.
James Cameron.
Yeah, whatever. That motherfucker. I went to go see that shit with my girl for one. I walk in that bitch, got the 3D glasses on. Try wearing those over glasses. I wear glasses. So I got to put the 3D glasses over my glasses. That shit didn't work out. Left, went and watched it in regular shit. So not 3D. Now I'm sitting down watching this shit with my girl. And yeah, I ate a little bit of a hallucinogenic that day.
We talking mushroom or we
Yeah,
talking,
of course.
all right.
Yeah, I don't fuck with anything else, dude. I smoke some weed. I
Yeah.
eat a little mushroom.
All natural.
I'm a natural guy.
Yeah.
I said, you got, yeah. So anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, $350 fucking million for this weird fish fantasy, you sick fuck.
You hated
I'm like,
it.
bro, think about what we could do with that fucking money. You want to spike the economy with some real money? $350 million for this guy's fucking vision?
Give it to Enzo.
Could the world have lived without this and have made progress with $350 million.
Don't get Gerard started on this. He's gonna start talking about Ukraine. He's gonna be like $350 billion. And then we're gonna have it.
Is that how much they gave them?
No, way more.
Oh, fuck.
Way more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. We got to prioritize this money. Some things going on here.
Yeah, what do
I
you
don't
think?
know.
That's you're
Dude,
right up
I
Gerard's
could've
alley.
done without
What are
that.
you doing with it?
I disagree with him. That's people want to spend something, and a lot of people want to watch it. I wouldn't want to watch it, but hey, make your money.
Avatar.
And also,
You're
that
gonna
guy put a
watch
lot of
Avatar?
people to work. Those people, there's a lot of people that got good paying jobs to do that.
He
shit,
broke
so.
clean, though, didn't he? Because to break even on the movie, they needed to make like $3 billion or $4 billion.
Did they really?
Some crazy shit. So
Yeah.
I heard this just sounded like the most astronomical waste of fucking money I'd ever saw in my life.
Maybe, but I mean, if we're getting into efficiency, life's inefficient. Like this is what the commies always get wrong. Like they see stuff like that and they lose their
Want
mind.
some?
I'll take
Let me
one
get a
of those.
Zippix too.
Yeah,
man.
all right.
What are
You guys
these
want
things?
some zippies? You want a dip or you want a zip?
Something's
Bro, I
going
see
on
you.
with my
I see you admiring my
headphones here, guys.
nicotine
I'm not
over
hearing
here.
them.
What
I don't
is
know
it?
if
These
it's
are
my
some
mic or
fucking
my
nicotine
headphones.
toothpicks.
Everything's muffled.
Check this out.
Nicotine toothpicks?
Nicotine toothpicks, bro. You chew on that, feel like a G. Hey, keep that pack. Actually, keep that pack from your boy Mick.
Whole
That's
lot
yours,
of money
dog.
in this motherfucker.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
want? What do you want, G? What you want, bro? I got it. I got the nicotine. You know what I'm saying?
Was that peppermint? Let me
nicotine?
get a
Good for your
peppermint.
brain. Oh,
This
that right
is
there.
real life.
Yeah, nicotine.
Is that
look at
peppermint?
I'm about to quit smoking.
So I'm saying, bro, they make people quit smoking. Does
Who
good
did
shit.
this?
Smell really
Zip
good.
Yeah, that's yours, bro. You
Smell
keep that.
really good.
Zip.
I'm in this game.
Hell yeah. 100%.
I'm gonna
And
be
clip
walking
that.
to the ring like Razor Ramon, bro. I'm gonna be walking to the
R.I.P.
ring like Razor
R.I.P.
Ramon.
Yeah, hit him with the
R.I.P.
fucking say goodnight to the bad guy
Oof.
with the fucking flick.
Yeah.
Speaking
Yeah.
of, I just watched first time in a very long time. Speaking of movies that probably didn't need to exist, New Jack City. I just watched New Jack City for the very first time. Have you ever seen New Jack City?
Nah.
Wesley
New Jack City?
Snipes.
Wesley
I like New
Snipes.
Jack the wrestler. That's a crazy motherfucker. I can't believe we keep talking wrestling now.
Yeah,
This is
whenever
like
I'm in the
fucking-
room, it
I
just
know,
happens to me in
right?
my life. Follows me everywhere.
Yeah, that's the same thing with me and
it-
fighting,
and
bro.
you just gotta own it, right?
I hear you, bro. It's
Same
like
thing with
every
fighting.
time I start talking, I'm like, "What's life like with a giant dick?" I'm like, "Guys, come on. That's my job."
This guy's
I wanna
tall
just
laying
talk.
down, then he's standing up.
Unbelievable.
Gerard's the only
Nails
guy
with
I
it.
know who's had 3 dick reductions.
Yeah, it's still not
2 of them
enough.
didn't take, huh?
2 of them didn't take.
Yeah.
2
Two
of
of
them
them
grew
didn't
back.
take.
But now we're at a
It's. I got a regenerative dick disease.
yeah.
It just keeps regenerating.
Yeah.
bro.
Well, you know what?
sorry,
It's
I'm sorry.
it's
It's a gift and a curse.
It's an evolutionary thing because everybody in my family we've got the belly. Then you got to get past the belly to make more humans. So it's an overhang. It's really an architectural design.
Gerard used to look like a Greek god,
That's
but
right.
now he looks like a goddamn Greek.
Yeah, goddamn Greek. I used to look like a Greek god. Now I look like Buddha. Still got
Yeah.
the body of a god. I look like Thor when he completely gave up. Which
we
movie
can't
was that?
sleep on the big man here, though. I've seen him in the ring. I've seen
Yeah,
him move.
nuts.
Get a little head movement
Yeah,
here.
once
Hey,
we
don't
get
sleep
once
on-
we get
I
10,000
love-
subscribers, he's taking an amateur fight
This-
out in PA.
I know you
I'll
know
get you
this because you're a
tickets.
big fan of the show, Enzo, but this is kind of our shtick. Mickey acts like he's dumb, and I act like I'm soft. And neither's true. So.
Yeah, I get it, man. Trust me, I get it. I played a guy on TV that was just a fucking clown, right?
I was just gonna say, Enzo, much like myself, way smarter than we look.
Well, Enzo, yeah,
This
For
dude,
sure.
yeah, fucking writer over here.
yeah.
Got
Hey,
notebooks.
yeah, definitely.
Well, I've heard your music too. Are you still performing music?
Definitely a little smarter than your average bear, right? Boo boo.
Is that a gay
my
thing?
science
I have no
teacher-
idea
Is
what
that
he
a
just
gay
said.
thing?
I have
Yogi
no
Bear
idea what he
Did he
just
just call himself a
Yogi
bear
Bear.
and then
He
wait?
No,
I
I
said
think he
I'm a
did it-
little
oh, you did it.
smarter than your average bear.
We're
All
in the
right,
East
boo
Village here,
boo.
buddy. Why don't we
All
all
right,
calm
boo
down?
boo.
He did a yo.
I don't
oh,
do
okay.
that. So
I thought it was
by
a
the way,
Yogi Bear
speaking of the
quote and a
village
Yogi Bear
people,
voice.
speaking of the village people, I once had a
It
meeting.
ain't over till it's over.
I once had a meet and greet where I was on the meet and greet with the village people, and they still get up, get out, put on their fucking construction worker gimmick, their
YMCA
Indian
in here?
outfit, do the YMCA.
It can't be
out
the
there.
original.
It was a Oh yeah, there's about 3
thought
of
they
them
died
that are
of
still
AIDS.
going. Oh, that's fucked up.
What?
That's probably.
Don't worry
cut.
about it.
All right, cut that out.
That's probably cut.
Thank you.
Don't cut that out at all.
No,
I love it.
No, we got to save Mickey's career once an episode. We get
Once
one
an
mulligan
episode,
an
yeah.
episode for
Yeah.
Mickey's career.
But do a Google fact check, and if somebody did die of AIDS in there, then you can leave it.
All right, Omri.
Fair enough.
That's on you. So you can make a note either way. All right, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I
Look.
met the village people. Great people, good guys. And I just thought, my dad was a DJ growing up. And I couldn't even tell you how many times I did the YMCA and bar mitzvahs, corporate events, quinceañeras, sweet 16s. Not the high schools, back when proms were the shit. I was DJing.
You DJ'd Joe DeFranco's wedding, right?
Yes, I did.
Get out of
Great
here,
friend.
really?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
Joe
Like
D. We're gonna
legit
get Joe
DJ
D on
or
the
no?
podcast.
Like 2 turntable and
Dude,
a
not
fucking
only
mic
did I DJ
on
Joe
some vinyls?
DeFranco's wedding, I did it while I was in WWE Developmental System, and it was the first and only time I left the first year I was in WWE, and I left just for that day to
Fuck yeah.
to do the wedding, and then I flew back down to
Yeah,
Florida.
go help out the guy helped you get in there and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your boy, bro.
So
Loyal motherfuckers.
so Joe got married, and I had been in WWE Developmental System. I don't know. It was like July of 2012. So whenever he got married, probably in late 2012 or early 2013. I was only there for like a year, so I couldn't take any days off. So like, I got blessed to go do this one thing, and Triple H and Stephanie McMahon were at the wedding.
Hell
So it's
yeah.
funny,
That's one of Joe DeFranco's big clients,
bro.
Triple H.
What's funny is that Triple H, probably the first time he or Stephanie McMahon ever saw me operate a microphone, was at the introductions of Joe DeFranco's wedding.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
So you probably put on right there, like, oh, I'm gonna go. And
Bro,
shoot
I
my
had to
shot
put.
right now.
I had to go. Fucking,
Was that your best DJing job ever?
I mean,
Did
it
you
was
do
an
your
easy
best
crowd, bro.
performance?
All you had to do was play music. Joe's people were ready, bro.
Yeah.
It was lit. But growing up, like Jersey Shore scene, going out, pumping fists. My dad ran a DJ company, and my aunts and my uncles and my mom worked there. My dad leaves the DJ business. He never leaves though. He's still doing it, but he doesn't want to own one. So he gives it to my uncle to start his own business. And they have the spot.
It's not posh DJs, is it?
No, so Premier DJs, which was shout out Premier DJs. My Uncle Ralph still going strong. They're out there on East Rutherford on Patterson Plank Road and right past Stilettos. On your way
I've seen the billboards. I know
Yeah,
exactly
so
what they
that- Yeah, my uncle used to run that place. And so I had DJing in my blood, like music in my blood, the YMCA in my blood. And they were, working a crowd.
Got the
and-
mic on your hand.
gauging the temperature of an audience and knowing like, oh shit, this bride's gonna be real pissed because nobody's fucking dancing at her wedding, and she's looking at the DJ like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You gotta go put that slow song on, get people up to dance, give some roses out to the ladies, gentleman's choice dance.
Is there
you know,
actually
okay?
like a science that goes into DJing? Because
beyond it, man? Imagine, people sleep on it. Have you ever been to a good party?
Yeah.
Thank the fucking DJ. He's keeping it going, right? And,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Just have
especially,
a good Spotify
That's
playlist.
an art. That's
like,
an art, just like anything
Especially
else. Man.
the-
That's an art. You know
especially,
what I mean?
I'm
God,
gonna
yeah.
end up having a mouthful of these fucking
Yeah,
toothpicks.
these
Hell
things are
yeah.
really good.
Like 5 of them at a time.
Hell
yeah.
So
What's up, Zippix, baby? Check them out.
so my fucking my pops, doing this, that I didn't realize I was learning a trade. I didn't realize I was learning how,
Skill. Yeah.
a skill, how to gauge the temperature of a room and what they want to hear, and like look around, like, okay, are these adults, or are these children, or are they a mix, and what can you get away with, and what songs do you want to play? You could be at a high school reunion concert, right? And you got to know what year these motherfuckers graduated and what was hot at that time.
yeah.
And my dad was
Facts.
the king of that shit, bro.
All right.
My dad is infamous in New Jersey for being the guy who started DJing really on the local level, because it was all bands that did weddings and shit.
Right.
And my dad started off with records,
Oh,
like
no shit.
records, right? And I remember cases upon cases of records in the trunk of his car, in his work truck. And then those turning into CDs. And at that time, when CDs would drop on a Friday, you would be waiting at line at Sam Goody or Musically Yours or like anyone.
Nobody beats the Wiz.
Nobody beats the Wiz, bro, before Best Buy. And hot new music would drop. My dad had always the plugs to get at the front of the
You
line.
still DJing?
Get the newest
You
releases.
still do that at all?
So no,
You
not at
probably
all.
Go make a bag, go do a fucking wedding, right?
So
Enzo
my-
Amore DJs your wedding.
So my pops,
FKA.
So my pops, right? He would take every CD he got, and then we would take it out of the plastic jewel case because that was too heavy, and we would snip that down into a small sleeve of plastic, and then cut the fucking album artwork to have the track listing at the front of the sleeve,
Wow.
and then you'd have to insert that alphabetically into a record,
Right.
bin. And then from the record bin to the CD bin.
You didn't have the books yet. The CD, like the little CD books.
Oh, we had plenty of books by the time it was all said and done. Yeah. But, at the beginning of this thing, and then when it switched to digital, and there was a thing called Virtual DJ that was created, and then Serato, and like these programs that we were using back then that are so advanced now. You just hit a
Serato's
button.
insane.
Back when I was mixing, when I was growing up, it was 2 CDs or 2 turntables, and you would have to match the beats per minute.
Mm-hmm.
And like a lot of people don't know, I was making music and involved in music long before I was a pro wrestler. So how do you get this opportunity to entertain at that level? Was like, man, I've been doing it my whole life and I didn't even know it. I was like, I ended up writing a top 40 song for the WWE. My name is Enzo Amore, and I'm a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Big Cass, and he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. Bada boom, realest guys in the room. How you doing? And if you're up against us, there's only one word to describe you, and I'm gonna spell it out for you. SAWFT, soft. SAWFT is just a YMCA. You know what I mean? And I'm just leading the crowd in the fucking YMCA every night.
Yeah.
In that world.
Well,
And
the
it's like,
four
why?
you're on
Shit.
beat.
Well,
Born
you're also,
performer.
but you're also learning. All you're listening to, if you're me, not by choice, is top 40 music. You know what I mean? It's only a matter of time before I write a hit record. But in the meantime, just think about top 40 music. That's all you spin when you want to get people dancing at parties and music that they all know.
Mm-hmm.
And you're playing fucking Meatloaf, Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
Yeah.
And you're playing the YMCA, and you're playing the Cupid Shuffle and the Cha-Cha Slide and the Electric Slide, and just things that get everybody up and moving and that everyone knows,
And the same beats are getting recycled. Like, what's her name? Coy Leroy has a huge song. Like, I just want to have a good night.
Dua
It's
Lipa,
just-
fucking
yeah,
Elton John,
the
right?
Same
Like,
beats over and over.
it's the same shit over and over
Now,
again.
Mick, you're a little young, man. But back in the
I know.
day,
Very young.
you want to have a fucking good Friday night. Back in the day, you'd cruise Coconuts or one of these other fucking CD aisles, and they'd have like the free listening booths where you and your
I remember
girl
Sam
would-
Goody.
Your girl
They
would
had one at the mall, Bridgewater Mall.
You'd be going down the aisles, acting like you were gonna buy a
Bro,
CD,
you want
but
to talk
you were
about
never gonna
fucking
buy a
hustling,
CD.
dude? Who the fuck taught you how to hustle, bro? I don't know who the fuck taught anyone. I know how I learned to hustle, dude. You can't teach me shit, okay? I was a kid. Before I was even selling weed, I was selling CDs, all right? And so my dad...
Burning them? You were burning
So
them?
my pops was
Yeah,
getting...
Ray's got a huge catalog.
My dad's
burner.
got the
Yeah,
biggest
smart.
catalog ever.
Yeah,
And he's buying every new record, including like singles that are dropping and albums, and I'm burning all of them. And I'm also his little bitch errand boy when it comes to this. Like, and I'm always on top of the new music and the pulse too. And I'm telling him what's hot, what's not, but at the same time, he's telling me, and he knows what's good.
Are you making mixtapes? You mixing them
I'm
up there?
making not even mixtapes. I'm just like the Eminem album drops. I'm burning 100
Whole
copies.
thing.
I'm showing up to school the next morning, and
Smart as
every
fuck.
parent is calling my parents because their kid got a hold of the new Eminem album with the fucking curse words all over it.
DMX,
and they're
it's hot and
pissed
hell's
off.
hot.
Yeah.
It's dark and hell's
It's
hot. You
dark and
name
hell's
it.
hot.
I was burning
Yep.
the CDs with the curse words, and my dad. I got in trouble for it mad times growing up, and then. Whatever, and that shit phased out eventually. But we were on that Napster shit, downloading all that shit, and I was burning them and selling them.
Were you selling aspirin as ecstasy too, or
No, but
You
you
weren't
know,
on that tip?
it's crazy. Like I mean, everybody around me was doing drugs growing up. Everyone, and I am so blessed that I never got into pills or cocaine at a young age. These things were taking over my friends' lives.
Yeah.
And I was a weed guy, but I couldn't even smoke weed a lot because
Thank God you and G don't do cocaine. I would never get a word in edgewise. It'd be impossible.
Oh, bro.
It would be
But I was served Adderall as a kid, bro. I was served Adderall and Ritalin as a child.
Yeah, meth.
As a
Yeah.
child.
yeah?
Yeah, same.
And it's insane. You chemically
Yeah, because they're
predispose
trying to stuff
me.
you in a desk. It's like they're trying to smash you into being a worker bee.
Yeah.
This motherfucker don't belong at a desk.
No
I don't
way.
belong at a desk.
Nope.
I'm mad I'm at this desk right now. I usually
Yeah.
make us stand in the other room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we talked about that shit before. The fucking what is it? The Prussian military system. That's what school's based on.
Yeah.
Prussian?
Fucked up.
The Prussian
Yeah.
military
Right.
system, yeah.
To basically
Well,
break
it's
us into
funny
being
you
workers.
Say that. It's funny you say that.
Obedience, not
I
intellect.
am royal Prussian descent.
Are you really?
Yes,
I will fuck your
No
fucking
shit.
I
military
am.
school system
I
bullshit.
swear to
Fuck
goodness.
that shit.
I'm Bavarian.
Are you really?
I'm Bavarian,
No
which
shit.
was
Amore?
modern, which is modern day Germany, I believe, right? Modern day Germany, Prussia,
Bavaria.
and Bavaria,
Bavaria. Yeah.
and the last name von Ludwig, which rings fucking bells. But the castle from Sleeping Beauty was supposed to be left to my family. The von Ludwig bloodline ran through my nanny's dad, who had a duel in his father was the land bearer.
G loves a duel.
I love this shit.
So he was my nanny who raised my dad was his grandmother. So my great grandma, she had a famous dad in Union City, known as the Count of Union City. He was the Count in the Prussian modern day. Everybody knows it as Sleeping Beauty Castle, von Ludwig Castle. You can pull this.
Are we
picture up.
pulling it up, Aubrey? What
That's
the
what I
fuck?
was saying to him. I was
are
like,
we doing
"Bitch,
here?
you pulling this up?"
So the Sleeping Beauty Castle is the von Ludwig bloodline. That's my nanny's bloodline, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was
Omri, our
he had a
Israeli guy.
so-
Omri's like, fuck your German
Omri's high as
castle.
fuck, bro. I didn't realize Omri's such a pothead. That's why I make him slow. He's a little slow today.
So this guy had a fucking duel, and they told him, "Hey, you
We
gotta
can cut it out.
you
Omri.
got to go to America and cool the fuck down, because even though
So
you're
he has like an Eric the Red story. Huh?
So they told him, get the fuck out of here, go to America, let the shit cool down. He ended up getting married in America and having a wife that was out of the royal bloodline.
Wow.
And they fucking ixnayed him and told him to go fuck himself, and he's not
Wow.
allowed to come back home.
Mm.
And then he became
It's like
known
Beer
as
Fest.
the Count of Union City because he was this famous German
It's
count.
like your grandmother was Meghan Markle. That's it.
I
You're
mean,
out.
I'm related.
You're
to,
out.
I'm related to all those motherfuckers, and I oftentimes think, like, on a little conspiracy tip. I wonder if they only let you get where you get because they know something that we don't know about each motherfucker who's alive. You know what I'm saying?
Whether you have the right bloodline or not?
Yeah,
That's the
man.
bloodline
Well,
theory.
I know I do. So it's like,
Well, I mean,
did I
technically,
only get a microphone in my hand on television because
a
they knew
lot
I was
of us do.
I was of the kin? You know what I mean?
I think one of every 8 people in Asia can trace their lineage back to Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's
Yeah, that Mongol.
It might be like 8
Yeah.
of
Mongol
everybody in the
fuck.
world.
that
Actually,
dude fucked.
That guy.
That
fucked.
dude.
That
Fuck.
dude fucked.
Yeah.
Semi-consensually at best. At best.
Oh, he didn't.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
Yeah. He has one of the most badass quotes of all time.
Does he?
Of all time. He gets
He
to
had
the
one of the most badass existences of all
Oh,
time.
yeah. He goes to Omri, look this up where this was. But he goes to the walls of a city. And the city is basically like, God will, don't come in the city. We are protected by God. God will smite you. And he responds back. He goes, I am the damnation God sent for you. All of your sins are the reason I am here now. Repent. And that's it.
Yeah,
that's
that's cold.
dude,
Yeah,
it
he
was
said
like,
he would say, "Let me in, or I'm gonna build a river through and wipe you guys off existence. I'm gonna destroy your castle. I'm gonna dam a river and let it run through here.
Yeah.
Cause fuck you guys.
He basically
I'm
started-
gonna make you disappear
he
forever.
basically started the Black Plague. He was like the originator of biological warfare. He would take sick people. He would take the sick from his camps, put them in a fucking catapult, and catapult them into the fucking
some early biological
Yes.
warfare.
He's like, hey, I got a little. Yeah, you
I
want
love this history.
I got a little something. I got a little something for you.
This history lesson is
Out of trebuchet.
I mean, I just
Oh, yeah.
spoke, I just spoke to Jay right before we came
Oh,
in
this
here.
is my
Lay it on me.
This is my
The
John. baby.
origination of biochemical warfare
Yeah.
was putting humans in
This is my
catapults
John.
and swinging
Yeah.
them into town.
Fucking A,
Imagine
bro.
you look up, you just see a fucking human flailing their arms at you.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I think here's my stand-up bit.
Yeah.
If I hit the
Dude, this
stand.
is what's history
go.
is wild.
I'm going.
Hey,
history is
maybe you
wild
don't. Maybe you
shit.
guys didn't hear about it, but I just found this out earlier today. Dogs laid eggs.
Yeah. How about that?
What?
Right?
Yeah, that's a Family Guy thing.
No, I'm just saying. I just found out the humans were fucking catapulted
Yeah.
into town.
Oh,
That was
And
a
that's
Family
how-
Guy joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
missed it.
just found out. I always thought that dogs laid eggs.
Yeah.
I learned something today. Yeah.
Something ridiculous happens in Family Guy on the
Yeah.
television screen, and then they just pan to Peter sitting with his family, and he just nonchalantly goes, I always thought that dogs laid eggs, so I think I learned something new today.
Omri, are we pulling anything up in this episode, or are we just kind of like,
I'm letting you talk.
okay? I mean, you
By
can
the
throw
way,
it up
the
on
quote-
screen.
Dude, one of my favorite
Pull
Peter
that up.
Griffin moments of all time. Tell me I hope you know it, because nobody really knows it, right? He's fucking sitting in a movie theater randomly with Meg. Just they do that flash pan, and he's looking up, and Channing Tatum is dressed up like that Step Up movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck, dude, I don't even remember what he said.
He started this. This is my favorite quote. I don't remember what he
That's
says.
my favorite. Oh, I forget what he said. Oh, no, I know exactly what he says. I always say it. He looks up, and Channing Tatum says something ridiculous about the movie, like that describes all of these types of movies.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he gets the girl, and Peter Griffin just looks up with Meg, and he goes, "Good for you." Good for you. That was it.
Good for
it was
you,
just the
Channing
most
Tatum.
random fucking pan to Channing Tatum in a movie theater, and the only response he's got is "Good for you."
Family Guy's fucking good.
Good for
Omri,
you.
what's the
Good shit.
quote? What's the Chinggis Khan quote? Oh, there we go. If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you.
Yeah, that's cold,
And
baby.
by the
That's
way, his
cold.
descendant count is at 16 million,
Oof.
meaning
a lot of
1 in
alimony.
200 people in the world.
In the world.
In the world.
Yeah.
That's
I
half
knew
a
it was like
percent.
crazy
We got our
stat like
modern
that.
day Genghis Khan. They made
Yeah.
a Netflix documentary about that fucking doctor, that scumbag fuck that was artificially
Oh,
inseminating
yes.
all them bitches
Yes.
with his own jizz.
Yes.
Oh man,
Sheesh.
that's cold blooded, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, they were paying
gotta
for
check that
like
shit out.
they were paying for like Ivy League sperm, and he's just like, I got some Ivy League sperm for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm paying for a little. I want some pro athlete sperm. I got some pro athlete sperm for you.
Everybody,
I got it all.
Yeah, this guy's
everybody's
just,
related. All these people just fucking coming out the woodwork related to
Shit.
each other.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He's
Holy
trying to
shit.
create the new Iceland, right?
That's
like
wild.
was it Iceland, Omri, where you had fertility doctor used his own sperm to inseminate women? Lawsuit says.
Yeah,
Hey, he's a doctor.
this guy was
so,
out of control.
You got that,
That dude. They'll make a special about anything that's fucked up like that.
dude. What's nuts is somebody donated sperm, and the kid somehow sued him and got child support. He donated sperm,
Oh damn,
and
that's
the,
a good
the
ass
woman,
lawyer, bro.
The woman
Yeah,
was
fuck.
inseminated, and then he was forced to pay child support. He was like, "The fuck."
Yeah.
Wait
I was trying
a
to help
minute.
out people.
Yeah, I just need to pay my rent.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
just-
bro.
yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That's wild.
I heard some shit. I don't know if we want to get into it. But,
This is what the show is, bro. Let's
hey,
get into it,
Hey,
motherfucker.
bro, I heard that that unvaccinated jizz is going for some big money.
Oh, that's
that,
big
That
facts.
seems to be the thing.
That's
Is
big
that
facts.
really true?
Yeah, there's a
Big
market
facts.
for what they call the pure bloods, man. The pure blood, there's a market for it out there.
And if you're royal too, I wonder how that works out.
If you're royal,
If you got that
if
royal
you're royal
royalty in your
and
that
pure
loins,
blood,
that
royal
royal
blood.
bloodline.
And the pure blood.
yes.
That's what we're
now,
called now?
Now,
Hey,
what's
speaking of royals,
yeah, that's like the real douchey way,
let's
like
go-
the
let's go-
the
let's-
unvaxxed are like
let's
pure
go into
bloods.
the
Pure
royals, bro. So you maybe know about this. Like, what is the descendants of like Game of Thrones based on dragon's blood and dragon royal blood, right? And
Well,
is
it's
it,
based on the War of
the-
the Roses.
so what's going on with that?
It's based on the War of the Roses.
What is that?
The War of the Roses.
Let me take a piss and then break this down for me.
Yeah, the War of the Roses is basically it's the Yorks and the Lancasters, and I believe it ushered in the Tudor dynasty. You know, which the Tudor dynasty ended up giving us like King Henry.
So
VIII
we all know who
and all those
won
people.
that war. Yorks have New York, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania seems like a shithole, don't it? I mean,
Yeah,
we all know who looked out there.
yeah, but York,
the York family.
I was like, at first I was going like, it's
York, PA
supposed to
is
be
the biggest,
New
one of the
Amsterdam.
biggest
but
shitholes
then
you'll
they
ever.
cha-
I had
and then I,
so York versus Lancaster was when I played in the Atlantic League was our big rivalry, and there was a girl that would come up to us before the game and like flirt with us, and she would just pull her lip down and said "fuck me" tattooed inside of her lip. Yeah, and,
Good-
and
good
like
try. She was
half the,
sent
half
fro-
the
she was-
league
Good
has
girl.
the same story.
she was sent from the other team to come get you guys.
give you guys the
Whatever.
clap.
Old school.
Sure,
Old
Yeah.
school.
they got pills and creams for everything.
Ah,
these
Old
days.
whatever.
school.
Ah.
Remember, Lawrence Taylor would send.
Whoa, we
Lawrence-
just talked about this on the
talking about
last
that.
episode.
Yeah,
Oh,
Lawrence
it's okay
LC.
now?
Send you a hooker over.
okay
Last
to talk about
episode on Monday.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, but as it turns out, scientifically, it raises your testosterone So
Fucking.
the idea of saving your legs, women weaken legs rock.
Well, no wonder I never
Scientifically
lost
bullshit.
that title, bro. I had that, I know a few ladies that wore that
Yeah.
thing. You know what I mean? Hey, down. Oh man.
Yeah, we were saying it's probably the coke and the whiskey you're doing champagne till 5 o'clock in the morning that weaken the legs more than the ripping and the tearing.
Yeah. I mean, well, LT also played on crack,
Yes,
which is
Performance
awesome.
enhancer.
absolutely.
Got to be a performance
Gotta be.
enhancer.
Awesome.
Crack
Yeah.
makes you strong.
I mean,
Imagine
I couldn't
looking
imagine.
across-
I never smoked crack, but I couldn't imagine not dying of a heart attack if I even ran one like 40-yard sprint. Like this guy, what? Like too much coffee makes me burp, burp, burp.
Oh
burp,
yeah.
burp.
Oh
Got to
yeah.
run it off when you feel that.
Yeah. You would think like PCP or angel dust would be
Oh, bro,
like
remember when we were
microdose?
growing up, dude? Like fucking all them when they were coming out with all the pre-workouts.
Oh yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
I wonder what kind of long-term effects them things had.
Animal
I mean,
pack.
Fucking bro,
Fuck
my,
yeah.
my boys were snorting that shit.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Jack 3D shit. Put that on.
Yeah, there was a shit called T-bomb that was awesome.
Oh, bro, yeah,
T-bomb.
dude. You name it, over the counter, we were popping them.
Yeah.
Fucking back in the day. We
take
were
this
growing up,
ephedra
go to
shit.
GNC, anything that would make me stronger.
Oh yeah.
If you sold it at GNC, it
For
was
sure.
legal. It was
Of
okay.
course.
It was fine.
Obviously
Yeah.
good.
Fucking assholes.
Anything the government says is good for you is good for you.
Yeah, that's what we
100.
know.
That's 100.
That's what I've learned to know.
I trust the
Speaking of
science.
governments, where did that first one start up in overseas there in Europe? You're talking about Charlemagne, the first ever king?
Oh, you're Prussian. Your Prussian background. You can probably trace your lineage all the way back to Charlemagne, the first Holy Roman Emperor.
So this motherfucker, Charlemagne the God, is just walking around fucking impersonating a white
Charlemagne.
guy? He's
Charlemagne.
impersonating a white guy?
Yeah, Charlemagne is the original king of Europe, also known as Charles the Great.
I
by
do
the
know
English,
that
who
Afri-
refused to speak in a silly French accent.
Oh, wow. Well, I do
like
know
the
that
French accent.
Africa was discovered or conquered by a Greek guy named Africanus.
That was long after the Macedonian guy took the north of it, Alexander the Great.
Oh, I love to hear this.
Alexander.
So
the
you're
Great.
you're
but
tracing
this started with
Charlemagne back to was like became a big Prussian influence. Like you were doing that with mine.
So was
you
he
were
before
saying
the Mongols?
some other guy that made
probably around the same time.
Germanics.
Charlemagne and the Mongols probably around the same time. Not very far off, huh?
I'm noticing a trend here. The
What's
way
that?
you're tracing the Prussian history back to these like dope like Roman soldiers, like
Yes.
kings.
Yep.
You did the same thing with mine. Who was the guy that was to Germanic?
Oh,
The Germanic tribes.
well, there's
You
two.
dropped- I was researching that guy
There's
after.
two.
I forget his fucking name.
Arminius,
wasn't
who's also known as Herman,
Someone
and
else.
Odoacer.
Oh no, I thought you said something else. I thought you
Odoacer.
said something with like a
Odoacer.
C.
That sounds like a
Odoacer.
motherfucking
The
pro
guy you
wrestler.
talked
This
about
guy who
was
went to the
Arminius.
Eastern Roman Empire,
Was
the
what?
Western Roman
Arminius.
Empire.
Odoacer.
You sure?
Positive.
He have a
Arminius is the guy that double crossed Rome.
Does he have an AKA like Enzo
Herman.
over here?
Herman. In German, they call him Herman.
Okay.
So give me the. So let's start. Where do you start? Ancient
what history
Egypt?
lesson you want?
You
Who?
start with ancient Egypt, right?
Sure, yeah. You know what's
And
nuts?
then
Speaking
how
of
do you
ancient
get to
Egypt?
Charlemagne?
I'll tell you something crazy about ancient Egypt. All right, and this kind of maybe I'm just weird. This blows my mind. Maybe you guys, I don't know, but Cleopatra
Last queen pharaoh.
Yes.
Yeah.
is born closer to the invention of the iPhone than she is to the building of the Great Pyramids. That's how fucking old those things are.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah, that's nothing to me.
The
Oh,
Great
you think
Pyramids.
I never heard of Graham Hancock? Come on. You know what I mean? Let's fucking go. So let's keep this thing
Yeah.
rolling with
So ancient Egypt was like what, 8,000 years ago?
So it goes from Cleopatra to
Rome was 2,000.
to fucking Rome.
Goes from Cleopatra was Greek. First of all, that's
Caesar. She fucked who?
Yeah,
they made
Caesar
a movie
and Mark
about it.
Antony. But there's a lot of people who think Cleopatra, like she looks like an Egyptian would look today. She was Greek, and they interbred. So Ptolemy, who was, I believe, Alexander's general, they for winning, Alexandria and a lot of northern Africa, he was granted these places, and then the Greeks interbred, and then they kept the Pharisee to themselves. So it'd be like, brother, sister, king, queen, husband type shit. It was really weird.
Oh, so it was all inbreds.
Yeah, like a lot of people don't know.
Egyptian inbreds?
Ramses had
Like
red
the
hair.
Targaryens.
Ramses was a ginger. Like a lot of people don't know this. So like Moses escapes. Ramses was like a ginger.
So Moses.
Who the fuck's Ramsey?
Pull up a picture of Ramses, Omri.
What's Ramses? Who's that?
The emperor that Moses escaped for and ended 40 years in the desert, and
Yeah.
I gotta
So
brush.
he was.
I gotta
was
brush
Moses
up on
was
my
the beginning.
my Old
Was the
Testament.
beginning of that? It was the beginning of like the opposite end of Cleopatra.
Yeah, Moses is the beginning of the Jewish autonomy outside of Egypt. So Egypt used the Jews as slaves to build the pyramids and stuff. Although there's some, it was actually probably more of like a socialist agreement, like what we would consider modern socialism. Like, I'll give you housing and food, and you work on my thing. And they weren't actually slaves. There's some debate about that.
Okay.
And they were just turning a dog into a human head, is what they were doing, right? Because that
Very
shit was already
interesting.
there.
That's
that
a
Sphinx was already there.
that's a very interesting theory. That's a very interesting theory that
It's either a lion or a dog, right? They say the Sphinx, and then they turn the head into a cap and gown there.
something strange. Well, now you're getting into beautiful conspiracy theories when you're talking about like the Tartarian mud flow and these lost civilizations that that were highly advanced, and the whole Atlantean theory. Like, we talked about this before. Like, wait, so humans went from a cave for 200,000 years, and then civilization, and then 10,000 years later, hey, we're fucking interstellar. We can go to the moon. Something don't make sense, right? Like the timeline just doesn't really
So
match
what do you
up.
think? We got some alien jizz fucked into us.
And that's probably my favorite one. Like the Prometheus theory, that's probably my favorite
Yeah.
one. Where like Jesus
What's
was an
the most
alien
likely
that
one?
came back and was like, "Hey guys, what are you guys doing down here? Fuck you."
What's the most likely one?
The most likely one is probably it's just a glitch in the Matrix, and this is the way
I'll tell you what.
evolution works.
Speaking of glitches in the Matrix, like you've seen like the NBA players all doing the same thing. That video clip. I'm like,
Yeah, where people
it's
are
like,
like
dude,
walking at the same
like
time,
the same exact
It's
like
so they look like
mannerism, same facial.
like
guys-
background people in video games.
But you guys don't think that that's like editing? You don't think that those things are edited?
I
You
think it-
I think
it
that
just
we're in
happens.
somewhat of a video game at times. I believe God is the creator, right? God.
So you
created
believe
this
in like
thing.
the simulation theory?
I don't know that's no.
As a
But,
fat
bro,
guy,
I
I'd be so
believe
mad.
in God.
I'd be so mad if
I
you
be-
could
I
you could
believe
just
in
turn
God,
my
but-
metabolism up and you turned it off. Fuck you, simulation.
But I just man, I know there's a higher being. I've smoked DMT.
You for 100%, you 100% in your heart of hearts believe that there is a higher being.
Yeah, man. And there's not only that. I think there's like numbers involved in it on a grand scale, and it's a matrix to a degree. And you
What do you
could
mean
break
numbers?
on. You could break on through it. Like you could follow signs, and God will talk to you. Like your intuition will guide you in directions that. They're not coincidences. I don't believe in coincidences. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, the day my grandmother died, I had been praying for something to happen, and then I got the call that I was booked in Madison Square Garden the day she died. So within, 2 hours of my grandma dying, I get a phone call, and they're like, hey, you're doing Madison Square Garden. And that's the first time I'd done it with Big Cass. And it's like, whoa, holy shit.
That's
holy
like the
shit.
baby, right? As his dad died, he was like with his like family and stuff. He got a call from someone thinking they were just gonna be like condolences, or it was the other way around where he just became like his record just went platinum or whatever. He's viral. He's about to be big time famous. Just made it, and he gets a call like that his dad died. At the same time, like it was almost like a give and a take.
The duality
You
of
know what I mean?
yeah, the duality of it all.
The baby.
Dude, it's, and then there's levels to life that are just so inexplicable, and there's so much going on a grander scale. And I do believe that there's demons. I believe that there's angels. I believe that there's
On Earth,
interdimensional. And I'm
You saying on
and I
Earth,
also
bro?
I also don't put
are you saying on Earth there's angels and demons, or like just in the like heaven and hell?
in the dimensions that we all exist in, whether we know it or don't. When you're sleeping and you're in the deepest form of REM sleep and that shit is going on in your brain, that dream you're having. I've had that same thing happen when I've smoked DMT. So where are you? What are you doing? What spirit, what entity? Have you ever had somebody that you're so close with that you're thinking of and
Call
then
you?
they call you
Yeah.
and you were dreaming about them and they were dreaming about you?
Yeah.
You're like, holy shit. So
Have
there's a
you-
connectivity. I believe all humans are connected, like you said. Where
Right.
There's genetic codes. It's like when performed an experiment on a chicken coop where they flew the shadow of a rocket and an airplane over the head and the sound of it 1,000,000 times. And then and then one time they show the shadow of a hawk over top, and all these chickens that were just hatched lose their minds.
Yeah.
So the
Instinctually.
genetics.
This reminds me
instinctually
of the
Very
conversation that we had at the end of one of the podcasts we filmed, where at the end we were kind of arguing about a point whether like we were talking about the connectivity, and then when we got off, you like we continued to talk about it,
Sure.
and we were saying it was when I was saying like you're like it's dangerous to talk like that because you're capping people's like potential in their
believing
brain.
your unlimited human potential. Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. Believing in your So the same way, like a kid, if he, like you were saying, Omri with basketball, like Omri could never play NBA, but then certain people can just fucking miraculously grow a foot. A lady whose kid's stuck under a car, she could just pick that shit up because of the adrenaline rush or whatever it is. There's just so much untapped human potential. Like we don't know. That's why, like with the connectivity, you're thinking about someone and they call you. There's so much. There's like there's so much more out there than we even know, and that we're, I think, capable of, because partially, and this I learned from David Deeve, we lost a lot of our nature, us being in touch with nature, us living outside in those caves and shit, and you know what I mean, being able to like feel danger, being able to feel and hunt food. If you had to go out and hunt food, if there was no food, you'd have a tough time, right?
No.
You'd do it easily.
Yeah.
You go find you a deer.
It's like one of the very first things I figured out. I
What are you gonna do? You know how to bait a deer, or you're not gonna exhaust hunt it like we used to. Yeah, I know you're not chasing that deer for that long. You're not doing it that way.
You think you do? You work smart, not hard. I'd set traps. I'd trap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be.
Put
A
some
trap.
carrots out.
What's the
Where you gonna get them carrots from?
What's the first word in the Bible?
It's 4, isn't it?
No.
For
Well,
God
just
loved
what's
it.
the very first word?
I don't know.
I am the Lord thy God.
And
So
and
I should know this.
God said, "Let there."
And God said, "Let there be light." That's correct.
So and backwards is DNA.
Okay. But it was probably written in a different language at first.
Yeah,
Is that
the
DNA
first
in that
word in the
language?
Bible is Bereshit, which means in the beginning.
In the beginning,
Did you look this up, or you just know that because you know your shit?
No,
I knew it, but I also looked it up to make sure.
Yeah, in the beginning there was darkness, and God said, "Let there be light."
In the beginning,
Yeah. Let me.
in the King James Bible.
Yep.
I'm talking about the other Bible.
Yeah.
That said
The one
and,
that's
and
in
it
the
means
back
DNA.
seat of my
Yeah.
car.
Which has also been, it's a 2,000-year-old game of telephone. It started
Sure.
out in
For
Aramaic,
sure. I mean,
and then went
it's
to Hebrew,
100%.
and then
How
went
could you
to
ever be so sure
Greek,
about
and
a
then went to
damn thing?
Latin, and now it's in
Exactly.
English. But think about that. It went just the translation, right? You go from Hebrew to Aramaic to Greek to Latin to English to Old English to New English.
So I know a little history. I do believe. Who was it that summoned all the people to Rome?
Constantine. For
Constantine
the
made.
Council of Nicaea.
Yeah, Constantine.
We don't even need Google, Omri. We got fucking Gerard over
Yeah,
here.
Don't be
yeah.
afraid. Hey,
Knows his
don't be
shit.
afraid to
Knows
check
his
me
shit.
though and throw it up.
No,
there.
but that's
Yeah.
correct. So Constantine made everybody from Europe basically
Yeah.
come together, send everyone to Rome.
Yes.
That can translate and
Correct.
turn it into one language.
And you know this because you're a big Slick and Thick podcast fan, and we had the great Ruslan on, who is turning into one of the foremost
Do
Christian.
you know Ruslan?
thinkers
You'd
in-
fuck
in-
with him.
You would
You'd
like
like him.
Ruslan heavy. Really, really good dude, and I pressed him hard. And he was great, and we had a great debate about this. I see the Council of Nicaea, and frankly, I see the New Testament as a treaty. I find it more political than religious. It's a treaty between the monotheistic new Eastern Rome and the old pagan Western Rome. And it's a brilliant way to bring these two cultures together under one banner. And then, little by little, there's some notes in there that are like, here Jesus is this radical. Jesus is a radical
They
willing
said
to
that
throw over the
they
temples.
said that Constantine.
And the first thing Jesus says, right, is give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Jesus, who goes to the temple, flips over the money changers,
throws the
is
tables.
willing to die. He calls them all idolaters, but also was like, hey, pay your taxes. Nah, I don't know. Sus.
No. So beyond that, I heard who was the famous artists at the time with that underground tunnel that was constructed during the time of Constantine as well. There was it Michelangelo and they were
Not
a part of
then.
They were a part of a world where pedophilia amongst little boys it It was normalcy.
Yeah, that's Greek. That's
Yeah,
very,
it was
very,
it was considered manly to
Yeah.
have a fucking like boy lover.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
that's
It's actually-
Patrocles and Achilles right
yeah,
there.
it's very actually very recent. Like the concept of pedophilia as being
No, but there's a group of I think it's
Da Vinci.
Da
Probably.
Vinci.
No,
That's who it is.
Zombies.
It's that
Da Vinci.
same time period as Constantine.
Is it? I think he's a little later. He's during the Renaissance. I think he's a little later. I think he's about. I think we're off
Whoever
by
the artists are.
300.
Hey, who's
400 years.
Raphael?
I just
What
know
artist
that
is
he painted Jesus
He was
to
a
look
sculptor.
like this guy is accused of
Painter too. Yeah, like
All right.
the name of the artist that painted the picture of modern day Jesus was financed by Constantine, and it was a portrait of his gay lover. In fact, that's what's said.
Yeah,
I don't believe. Hey, look, I'm not saying I believe it to be
there
true.
was, but there's also a bunch
Believe
of
in what?
Constantines. The same way there was like King George the First, the Second, the Third. There was a lot of Constantines. So you might be right. It just might not. We might not be
Might
talking
be a
about the same.
different
Constantine.
It's Michelangelo's lover that painted to look like Jesus. Watch this. I guarantee. I'll look it up.
Which is interesting because Jesus actually probably looked like Jason Mantzoukas. The closest we can get to it, it'd probably like
Jason Mantzoukas
from the league. You know what I'm
Oh
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah.
From
Rafi in the league.
Yeah. It's
That's
probably as close as we can actually like, But we talked about it with Ruslan. I love the idea of a non theological Jesus. Like just Jesus the man is so impressive as a radical, as an entity. I mean, this guy is a bastard.
Caesar
son.
Borgia.
Caesar Borgia.
Caesar Borgia was supposedly the current depiction of Jesus was actually based on Caesar Borgia,
Really?
who
If you're
is
gonna go to the screen right there,
rumored
that's-
as Da Vinci's gay lover.
No shit.
How about
Rumored as Da Vinci's gay
No
lover.
shit.
that? If you like this stuff, have you ever heard
The
theory-
beautiful looking Jesus that we all know with the long hair.
Yeah, well, that makes sense because he's much more effeminate and European than he ever would have been at the time.
But yeah, I just
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the theory of Pantera? Are you familiar with that at all?
no.
This is
But I
this is
know
very
who the
interesting.
fucking band are.
Yeah.
Walk,
and
baby.
apparently the band does it. There's some argument about whether the band takes their name from this or not. But there's this theory of, pull this up, Omri. Pantera as the guy that they know for a fact was the Roman soldier who raped Mary and is the father of Jesus. The actual father of Jesus is a guy named Pantera.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Tiberius Julius Abdus Pantera was a Roman Phoenician soldier born in Sidon whose tombstone was found in Binderbrook, Germany. In 1859, a historical connection from this soldier to Jesus has long been hypothesized by numerous scholars based on the claim of the ancient Greek philosopher, I'm going to call that Celsus, who, according to Christian writer Origen, in his Against Celsus, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, very, very long story short. And also, let's remember, talking about historical time and pedophilia, I believe Mary was 13 when she gave birth to Jesus at the time. So, poor Mary, raped by a Roman soldier. To me, this sets the stage for what happened next in a way that my mortal mind can understand it. Imagine, put it into today's conceptual terms. Here, your teenage mother was raped by an occupying force. An occupying force takes over America. And one of those soldiers rapes your mother. And you grow up with a father who hates you because every time he looks at you, he sees his raped wife, half brothers and sisters. And you see your people, the Jewish people, kowtowing to this occupying force and kicking up to them and allowing Pontius Pilate to rule over the land, and you're charging your own people to exchange money into the Roman money, and they're keeping the difference. Jesus is like, fuck this shit. Fuck this. Whether you believe he's the son of God or not, he's a bad motherfucker. He hung out with hookers. He hung out with thieves. He got this merry band of men together and went around the countryside going, hey, fuck Rome. Fuck our overlords who love Rome. Let's go to Jerusalem and kick these motherfuckers to the curb. None of that matters. All we got is us.
But nonviolent measures.
Yeah, like a Martin Luther King.
Until-
Like a
rather than
fucking
Malcolm
Gandhi.
X,
Yeah, until it came time to stir the pot. Until it came time to flip over some tables and fuck with the money. The big story about Jesus from a political standpoint is government will let you say whatever you want to say. The second you fuck with the money, your ass goes up on the cross. Big bank always wins. So this is blasphemy to any Christian or Jew or even Muslim listening to this. You know, I apologize for nothing because I'm welcome to my opinion as well. And you can get in the comments and tell me where you think I'm wrong from a historical perspective, not from a theoretical perspective. You tell me what I got wrong. But
as a Jew, I can say that we definitely do not care if you talk shit about Jesus. You can do that all day long. We will support you.
And I will not. As a Christian, I will not. I will stand up for Jesus in my moment right here. I have to.
In fairness,
for Grandma,
Jews,
for all my family members.
In fairness,
I just think
the Jews
that
did way worse.
Look,
things
we could
to Jesus.
You can. I just like to look at my grandma as an example of someone who was a great woman who went to church every day and prayed.
This won't fly in Gerard's comments.
And she just prayed every day for the world to be a better place. She had 6 kids. She raised them with God as their backbone, and they were all good people who had kids. And I have 17 cousins. She had 35 grandchildren and great-grandchildren when she died. And when she was dying in her late 80s, I looked at her, and she couldn't have been happier with how her life had turned out. And she said she owed it all to God. So I'm just going to say, Grandma lived until she was 80, had 35 grandchildren, lived a blessed life, and I'm just happy. You know, it was funny. I used to bear the burden of a family. Imagine middle class means nobody ever had a lot, and everybody always helped each other out when they needed to. And I always was like, oh, man, until everybody's a millionaire, until everybody's good, until I'm famous, until
It'll never be enough, though. That's a sliding scale.
The hedonic treadmill.
And she just kind of, reassured me that that's not what life's all about, and that she died happy.
So to that point, I'll say this. There's theoretical and then there's practical application. And although I'm probably closer to an atheist than I am to a Christian, I far more enjoy being around Christians than atheists. I think they're better people. They're more well-grounded.
Yeah, when you just have God as your backbone, it's good. There's just God is another word for good. Just put another O in it. Like, you're just promoting being a good person. That's what you're doing. So I try to never, ever, ever judge anybody based on their religion, ethnicity, bullshit, sexual orientation. I don't give a fuck about that shit, man. I'm not worried about being a Christian that upholds to the standards of a book written thousands of years ago that we don't have exact clarification on. And I know that there's Christians that would crucify me for saying that. But at the same token, I'm just cognizant of the fact that if someone is born in, the fucking South American jungle that had never heard of Jesus or this book in their life, and they die in their 60s or 70s never having heard of Jesus or this book in their entire life, you mean to tell me they're going to hell?
Yeah.
Like, I don't subscribe to that.
Yeah.
So you understand where the theoretical,
that's
understanding of an evangelical trying to.
Well, that's what turned me off as a kid. Sky Cop judging everybody.
The idea of hell and people dying and burning forever, and that is what scares true evangelicals and Christians into trying to push this onto other people in a way that is scary to people. Most people, cognitive dissonance, they don't want to hear that they're going to hell for their sins. They're like, oh, fuck that. So it's man, you can go on forever about all of the, whys and what's when it comes to religion.
But you feel very visceral about this. Like, do you feel like you talked about the angels and the demons earlier, like Mick was asking? Do you think you've interacted with them? You seem to have feel like you've seen them?
I've experienced things that are surreal in my life, like almost like an intuition telling me right from wrong, and a conscience that weighs heavy on me. And when I'm out mixing it up with the demons, I can feel them. You know what I mean? Whether I'm out at the bar with the spirits, bro, the wine and the spirits, right? They call it spirits for a reason. You fucking let the demons enter your body. I believe that you genuinely put demons into your body, whether it be through vape and whether it be through smoking a cigarette or putting fucking processed foods into your body. I believe that they could potentially exist within those things to enter the confines of your mind chemically to produce thoughts that are, like we perceive as depression or anxiety. It's like, yeah, if you're eating a lot of bad shit and you're putting a lot of bad fucking, you are what you eat in a sense. If you're putting a lot of negative energy into your body, you're going to produce negative thoughts, and that's godly in a sense. So it's
Interesting.
It's also, like, hey, I have to say, man, like I had no idea that there was a blue elephant with like 6 arms in Hindu religion.
Yeah.
And I saw that motherfucker.
Is that Shiva? Is that Shiva, Amor?
No, that's Ganesh.
Ganesh.
I saw Ganesh before I ever knew Ganesh existed.
Don't be afraid to throw it up on the screen, Omri.
I saw Ganesh in my fucking bedroom on DMT, sitting at right when I smacked the shit out of it. I took the third like huge hit, and right before I fell back, I looked up and started seeing Ganesh before I closed my eyes. And I didn't know it existed. And then I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast, and they were describing Ganesh. And I was like, wait a second. And I Googled it.
I
and
seen
I was
this
like,
motherfucker.
holy smokes. That's something to be said. And then, like Sturgill Simpson, an artist I like, a musician, he's a Joe Rogan guy, and he's been on his podcast, and he said he smoked DMT. And in a great song that he has about smoking DMT, Turtles All the Way Down by Sturgill Simpson, he says, I saw Jesus, like when he was smoking DMT.
So if you saw a Hindu god, did that shake your faith in Christianity?
No. I feel that I think that there's truth to like everything you've ever heard. I really believe that. I believe that, if you've done hallucinogenics, I believe that that's an eye-opening experience in and of itself, and you need to be more receptive. And I always come out of it feeling more loving or better about myself usually. I haven't tripped on anything since the last time I smoked DMT, which was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I had a terrible experience the last time I smoked DMT.
Really?
And I don't ever want to. I experienced what I would perceive it's like to commit suicide, die, wake up, and then wonder if that happened in another fucking, in another world, on another plane, and if you did that thing in that world, and then you came to. I had an experience. Dude, I knocked over everything. I did flips in the chair by doing tricep push-ups and spinning in the chair I was with. And I had an eyewitness who saw the whole thing. I hit the ground and started doing like exorcism type movements. I came back. I sat back in the chair, looked over at my bro, and I was like, yo, did I leave the chair? And he was like, he looked like he saw a ghost. He was like, and he described everything. And then I kind of remembered that happening. And I was mortified by it and the experience of it, and haven't tripped on anything since. I mean, I've microdosed mushrooms, but like I won't eat an eighth of mushrooms. Like that shit.
Is it because you're afraid? You're afraid to go back in there. You're afraid it's gonna like change you, it's gonna scar you.
I
again
just
in
think
a different
that
way?
I just think that I was in a terrible place mentally at the time.
That's a big part of it.
I was the height of COVID. The world was shook up. It was like, like fucking the world sucks right now. Let me smoke DMT and see what happens. And I was drinking. I was like already like drunk. So which is a depressant too. And like my tag team partner in pro wrestling was trying to kill himself.
Cass?
Big Cass. And like I had those weird thoughts in my brain of like what he was going through. And then being an addict because he was addicted to alcohol. That was how he was trying to kill himself.
Really?
And
I've read that
he's in the
like,
best shape of his life. He's on the other end of the bro. He is the poster boy for how to persevere. He's
just
back
a
on
sidebar,
TV.
and then I want to get back to what you were talking about. I've also read that he's like a remarkably intelligent individual.
Yeah,
like he's,
NYU
It's
grad.
like a doctor or something.
He had a pre-med degree at NYU. He played basketball at NYU. Brilliant mind that like most brilliant minds are mad,
For
and
sure.
we don't even understand it. And I didn't understand depression or anxiety or what he was going through because I didn't really experience it in my life. And then when I watched him experience it, like, and he went off to, better himself and get in the position he's at where he's on television in the best shape of his life, engaged to be married. Like he's just, oh my God, what a story. But bro, like watching him go through that, bro, that shit devastated me.
feel a little helpless, like you
Like,
there's nothing
oh
you can
my
do,
God. Yeah, bro. Like it was devastating to me to watch my best friend, a guy I traveled on top of the world with.
Helpless is the word. Yeah.
And then I'm in a place where I'm like, oh, let me smoke some DMT. Like, fucking, bro, the experience I had on that, like, you need to be in the best place cognitively to probably experience the best that DMT has to offer.
Yeah,
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
I
I'm
think
fucking
sometimes there's they say like therapeutically you go and you kind of turn intrinsic and you kind of battle your demons on that stuff. But a lot of times it can knock you on your fucking ass.
A lot of people are talking about
like,
ketamine these days too.
Yeah.
That was when I was younger. Like people were doing K.
Oh, fuck that.
Now there's these people that are like microdosing.
So I could
K
say
and
and I'd like to hear your perspective too. When I
saw a guy
mushrooms,
smoke K go into a K hole.
mushrooms-
You know what this is?
Well, let me say something real
Yeah.
quick. When I've taken mushrooms, I've and even doing DMT,
You did DMT also?
Yeah. And I don't think I broke through like some people do, like they go into a thing. But I just remember seeing little almost like beings above me, and the same feeling I got with mushrooms. So there's been times on mushrooms it's been the happiest I've ever been. Like you just feel so good. You feel so in touch with the world. You understand the world. But both times I had a great resounding feeling of everything's okay. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's out here for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you just gotta go and get it.
What was the impetus for
you're all
you
there.
to smoke DMT? Like, what made you want to do it? Is this something that you were interested in, or?
No, it wasn't something it wasn't something I ever really seeked out. It was an opportunity
For
presented
people
to
that
me.
don't know, you're not a drug guy. It's not like
Not at all.
you barely drink. Like
Yeah.
I mean, so.
Well, yeah, I don't fuck with really I've never snorted anything. Like I haven't popped any pills. Like
No pills, no powders.
no pills, no
Bro,
powders.
they never-
Exactly.
thank
But
God.
the opportunity was there, and I understood. I tried mushrooms, and I saw the way that. Like it definitely expanded my brain. It gave me a different perspective and gave me resounding good feelings. And I tried DMT, and I had the same.
Rashad
kind of
Evans
thing.
loves. Shout out, and I love Rashad Evans. He's a great dude, but he loves mushrooms.
Well, he works with
swears by
Unlimited
them.
Sciences, who I have a relationship with. My man Del Jolly. We'll talk about him when we do the Rashad Evans podcast. But they're doing a lot of research, and the way I got in touch with them was I was seeing them use CBD, good CBD, and kids who have seizures were have a terrible way. Like they would give them some CBD, seizures stopped. There's a lot to this plant medicine and these hallucinogenic psychedelics, whatever they are, but they can do a lot of good for a lot of people.
Mushrooms are kind of everywhere these days. When I was a kid, man,
They're big.
you heard about people going out to festivals in Western PA and we did mushrooms out there. It was very exotic in a way.
Right.
It wasn't now a lot. It seems very
I walked into a bodega one time asking for a lighter, and he said, "Okay, we also have shrooms."
Some boomers. We got boomers on
we get some
deck.
portobellas. Yeah, you got some shiitakes.
Buy any?
So what?
Not
what,
that
You done
time.
shrooms?
I've done shrooms.
what made
like?
what
I
made
like
you
it,
want
yeah.
to do DMT?
Dude, I was in the WWE and I had to piss test, so I had no options. On
Gotta
the
get
things.
high on something, even if it's just
things I-
15 minutes of DMT.
Really?
Yeah, so I was in the WWE and talking about 5 years of being sober, just drinking alcohol, and which is the worst one.
Yeah,
of all.
you're allowed
What-
to drink.
The
Yeah.
opposite of California. What is that? That's called,
California sober is when you're just smoking weed.
yeah, and I guess when you're just drinking alcohol, let's call that Dublin sober.
I like it. There you go.
So I was
Corporate
at my
sober.
buddy's house in New York City for a WWE break for Christmas. So I imagine 2 years into the WWE, maybe 2013, 14, I'm all home for a week, and all my boys are on ecstasy and Molly and drinking and doing coke and
real quick,
and
Amr, you're gonna
smoking
put a
weed.
link to my man killing it on WWE with the Dudley Boys. Yeah, my man was hot as shit.
So-
killing it.
Oh, yeah.
killing
So-
it. Fire, like the
so-
new Ric Flair cutting
But all my
promos.
boys are doing shit, and I can't do any of it, and I don't want to, obviously, because my job is my life, not saying all my boys are doing this shit. Some of my boys are probably sober, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I'm out with a group of people, and they're partying, and then we end up on a rooftop at 5 a.m. and I've just been drinking Red Bull,
Hammered.
and no, not even. I've just been drinking Red Bull.
Oh, you've just been drinking Red Bull.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had a broken leg at the time, and I didn't want to fucking be fucked up. So I'm just trying to stay sober, and I'm nodding out. We get back to my boy's house, and one of my friends, bro, Dante, smacks.
Bro, shout out to Dante. I love fucking Dante. That's
Dante's
funny. When you were
nuts.
talking about your friends, I was thinking about Dante.
He's
Yeah,
nuts.
Dante's the man.
He's out of his mind.
I've had some boomers with Dante before.
Dante's out of his mind.
Everybody, by the way, is thinking of Dante from Grandma's Boy right now.
No, this kid is called.
It's a lion.
This kid is called the Stony Jabroni on Instagram. But anyway,
Yeah.
this motherfucker goes and smacks a bowl like he's smoking some weed, and he doesn't ask about it, and he hits the bowl. And next thing you know, he takes a few steps and just fucking hits the ground. And I yell at my man L. I'm like, yo, L, what the fuck happened to Dante? He just hit that bowl. He's like, my boy Elliot comes out smiling, laughing. He's like, oh, there was DMT in that thing. So my boy just dosed himself on DMT without knowing it. Now he's laying on the ground like Dumb and Dumber, like just fell off the bridgeway, dude.
Universe.
Fucking Lloyd with his leg all bent, and he's fucking laying there and he's just going through it. And I'm like, holy shit, dude! I just watched the Spirit Molecule documentary on Netflix. You have DMT? I'm not gonna pop on a drug test for DMT. Let me smoke that shit. And we put on Layla by Eric
Cream?
Clapton.
Yeah, Cream.
And it was blasting. And when he got into that guitar solo, bro. Like the greatest guitar solo, maybe ever.
Song's about George Harrison's wife.
Bro, I was off into the fucking clouds, and when I came back down, I was the happiest I'd like ever been. I was like, that was the best experience ever.
Really?
I'm so glad I just smoked that DMT. It was the best
Do you fuck
experience
with any
I'd
of them?
ever had.
Psychedelics at all? You?
Not really, man. Not really. I
remember you ate some
a
mushrooms
couple
one time
times.
and you kept looking at your hand. You
Yeah,
was
but
like, my
the only
hand
thing that
feeling-
got high was my hand. My hand just checked out. My left hand was like, I'm gone, bro. And I'm like, yo, come on back here, bro.
Yeah.
And then, well, here's the problem. I can never get the dosing right. I've done it a couple times where I did way too much, and then I've done a couple times where nothing.
Well,
at
you know
all.
what? Now that you know a guy like me, then you know that I would never steer you wrong.
The shaman, aka the shaman.
I mean, I've had the worst experiences and the best experiences, and I'm not one to trip anymore. So I would, if you wanted to microdose and do some mushrooms and just get a little giddy up.
Yeah.
I
The old adage
I might
is
know a guy. I might know a guy.
right drunk, perform sober is the old adage for comedians. But the DMT thing interests me, like this idea of opening your third eye, the LSD, all that MK Ultra type
I
shit.
never
and
fuck with it if
obviously-
it was made by a man.
So LSD, like the
If it's
lysergic
made
acid,
by a man in a lab, I don't fuck with it. If it's
Interesting.
made by a shaman in Mexico scraping fucking frog venom off
Like
the back
natural
of a
shit.
toad,
really. So
Yeah.
you would do the ayahuasca. You'd go to the Amazon, do the ayahuasca, and all that.
if
stuff.
I was in a position mentally, physically, maybe one day.
I hear ayahuasca
like-
is a hard out, bro. You'll
Yeah,
be
man.
vomiting,
Yeah.
shitting, crying for
Yeah,
hours.
like,
It's a
you
long
gotta-
ass
you
shit,
gotta-
an
But
intense one.
But if you believe in this stuff, it's supposed to show you.
It's a lot of
everything
people
you are,
credit
and-
quitting
Dude, I
alcohol
got
to
too
that.
much. I got too
Aaron
much
Rodgers.
shit to worry about. I can't be fucking going to check out into the desert for a few days. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I got too many responsibilities.
Yeah.
I ain't got no kids though. How you doing?
yeah, the-
Nailed
Damn,
it,
bro.
That
Nailed
you know
it.
about. The you go out to the desert, and cleanse yourself of these impurities. I don't know, man. There's
Yeah,
a
Tony
certain,
Soprano.
yeah,
Just get out there. And just
Yeah.
fucking...
A little peyote.
peyote.
Peyote with Chrissy's broad.
Yeah, I don't know. Man.
Oh, bro. You know,
I don't know if I want to know. I
What?
don't know if I want to see.
if you were gonna
Ganesh. I
try
don't-
one, you'd do adrenochrome, right?
Let's
Enjoyed
finish
it.
it off with you got any crazy stories, Enzo? Give me a crazy story. I know
Dude,
you've told a few of them before, but hit me with a good one. You either got like a crazy like going around with the WWE, either some backstage drama or some fucking. I mean,
On the
I know
road
you
and
punched
shit, man.
two people at a Giants game.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what's
but-
your
but we
beef
know
with
that.
Victor Cruz, bro? What's all that
Oh,
about?
no.
Why are you
Oh, I
beefing
know
with
about his
Vic
Victor
VC?
Cruz.
I ain't beefing with Victor Cruz. I love that
Try-
guy, man.
trying to
He
get
put-
heat with VC?
He put on for the BPSL Carpenter division, but Lord knows when we went 1-on-1 head-to-head in high school that I had my way with Patterson Catholic. Okay, I had my way with him. 70-yard touchdown pass right there over the middle.
He's got the footage.
fucking
He's got the footage.
slamming him on his head. Victor just
About once a year, he'll
Sherman-
tag him and put him.
Sherman
in the
suplexed
things.
him. I actually saw him for the first time in my life as I was leaving a Giants game that we won. I was elated. What a great season it was for the New York Giants.
Dable, baby.
Yeah.
Just talking about like very few things that I can enjoy these days.
Yeah.
And football is one of them.
Football feels professional again.
But
in
you know
East
what?
Rutherford.
They've been talking a whole lot about the NFL being rigged and this, that, and the third, and sometimes
Scripted. Our last episode.
scripted and shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
you know the UFC scripted.
is it?
Yeah.
Totally scripted. Top to bottom.
Is
There
it?
you go again. I doubled down on it.
No, never.
No, of course not, bro.
Never.
Nah, neither is football.
and I know
Football's
it-
gladiator shit. UFC's
I know it
gladiator
is.
shit.
I know it.
It's motherfucker putting
I know.
blood,
He knows
sweat,
that
and
he's a
tears.
wrestler.
Look, and I was out there, and anything could happen. You can get knocked out cold. You can break your leg. They can't determine that shit. So
Yeah.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the thing. When you're in a movie theater, you suspend your disbelief. You sit there. You agree to enjoy whatever you're watching, and as if it's real, right?
Tell me, watch Bo Jackson's leg go hyperextended.
Shitty script.
That was just a script.
Shitty
All right, you gotta
script.
run as fast as you can. Stop on a dime
Yep.
and break your own fucking leg.
See you later.
Couldn't.
Never.
Yep.
Could never
Degenerative
happen,
hip
guys.
disease.
So yeah, man.
Never
I just think that that fucking I don't remember what we were talking.
I was
about.
asking for a crazy story.
Well, let me ask you
Crazy
this:
story.
have you ever been? And I know you want to talk much wrestling, but I'm interested. Has anybody? Have you ever been in? Since we're doing the scripted thing, have you ever been in a match with somebody? Have you ever heard of a match with somebody where there was a predetermined ending and the guy refused to go along with it?
Shooting.
Oh yeah. There's,
Refused to do the what do they call it?
Do the
job.
do the
Yeah,
job.
shooting on him, right? That's
No,
if
that
you
never
go and actually
happened.
Fuck him
that,
up.
that never happened to me while I was in the WWE, but certainly like before you got to the ring, there's finishes getting changed because
Oh, guys are politic.
one guy go politic and be like, "Oh,
That's-
I'm not losing to
wow.
that guy." I mean, that was the story of my career. I had no idea because I never did one time politic. But like, I'm sure I lost all the time because guys were going and talking to the producer like they don't want to do this, they don't want to do that. And I got to be honest with you, bro. Like, I never wanted to be a world beater, bro. Don't put me out there, and make me shit on you for 10 minutes, get these people pumped up, and then I got to drop kick you 5 times and fucking hit my moves and then beat you and give you nothing. Like, why would you ever want to wrestle me?
Fair.
It takes 2 to tango.
Fair.
So I always played my part, like, talk the shit, take the ass kicking. And if I beat you, I didn't need to hit you with my finishing move. I could roll you up and put my feet on the ropes or something, like kick
Yeah,
you in
do
the
it dirty.
kick you in the nuts. I didn't
Heel
I didn't
shit.
play the game, bro. Fuck that. Like,
Wow.
I got told you were winning. I was like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah. But
I
there's
didn't
guys
give a fuck.
that
So
they gotta,
Paul
like-
Roma and Alex Wright, there was one that I watched a thing on where they were talking about it. This wrestler, he kind of got blackballed after, though, because in his mind, I think the wrestler Paul Roma went out there and he was told all leading up to it, like he was going to win, and then they were doing things with him.
Yeah.
And then he says that Ric Flair said, "Oh, the Office changed it," but in reality, it was Flair who was changing
really?
the finish of it, and he felt like he was lied to. And the kid he was out there with was like young and green, and he just went out there and said, "Fuck this," went into business for himself and just beat the shit out of the kid. And then there's other instances like that too, where guys have just started shooting on each other, and like just shit wasn't going right. And
Is there a plan in place? Is there like a plan B if somebody just decides like
one motherfucker probably get up on the other guy and just be like, "Hey, brother, just fucking calm the fuck down," or fucking, "Hey, we got to get to this."
it's not like
fucking
these are
match."
small people you're dealing with. If somebody doesn't want to do something,
I
it's
mean,
gonna be-
Brock Lesnar got stiffed by Braun, my buddy, Big Country, in the ring.
Braun Strowman?
Braun Strowman,
Oh, shit.
he's my boy, and he he fucking hit Brock. Didn't mean to, but gave him a good one.
Had to give him a receipt for
And
that.
Brock
huh?
gave him a swift, quick receipt. Like,
Really?
bopped him like 3 or 4 times. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
Fucking
yeah.
heavyweight
hey,
champ.
hey. And Braun was like, "Oh, okay, I get it."
Got you, dog.
I remember
Say no
where
more.
we are. That's
Say no
wild.
more.
Well, they said that about Hogan. Now that he's hurt, or they said he's paralyzed, and he's not. But that's everybody in the world and their mother's talking shit about him now, and that's apparently they called him the king of the pencil. He'd go, but whatever the finish was supposed
dude,
to be.
anybody,
Nah,
I got news
no.
I got news for you, bro. Anyone you see on top in any wrestling world, politicked to
Really?
a degree to get where they got.
No shit.
Everybody has to play the game. It's
Huh.
called playing the game. That's what they call it. You
Oh,
gotta,
shit.
you
Yeah, it makes sense. I remember seeing this stuff with like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart getting pissed and their thing back
oh,
then.
Yeah.
And, you know
The
what I
screw
mean?
job.
Like Yeah, screw job, like different shit like that. Like yeah, it's like it could be like a snaky.
Yeah, but I mean, you're like
thing,
Bret
you
Hart.
know?
Like you decided to leave the company. How you gonna leave with the strap? Come on. Like,
Yeah, I mean, people get finishes changed, and they get storylines changed, and that's just a part of it, and that's every day.
How much
Didn't Shawn Michaels go against Hulk Hogan and like he like overdid the? They were like, I think his psychology's a little off. Like he would pull this up real quick, Omri. Like he
so
would.
Shawn Michaels
he was
oversold everything.
oversold everything.
Because
like, he was
basically,
pissed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
so the story. I don't know the facts, but the story goes
They turned it
Shawn.
into a clown show.
So
Yes.
Shawn and Hulk were supposed to wrestle. Hulk Hogan wins, and then they were going to do a part 2.
Gotcha.
And then Hulk Hogan last minute was like, I don't want to do part 2. And Shawn was like, okay, well, fuck you then. So then when they had the match, like Shawn gets slapped and he like jumps and does a flip.
Look at
and
him.
like,
Look,
look at. Yeah. He's overselling everything.
and Hogan like gets. You can
Oh
see,
my god.
Yeah, you can see him.
Yeah.
He like throws his bandana. Like you see Hogan getting pissed. Like
How much say do these guys have in their character and their story arc?
If you're Hulk Hogan, probably all.
Gotcha.
If you're me, none.
You don't.
No.
Yeah.
When I was there, I was blessed. I always got a microphone, man. And damn, bro, I didn't realize that. People were probably pissed about that or jealous or mad. It's like, why can't I get in my, you know? And like, imagine being a guy maybe in the ring that I shit on the mic and he doesn't get to rebuttal and then he's got to lose to me. Mm-hmm. So you don't even realize you're rubbing people the wrong way. At least you ain't grabbing them by the pussy or fucking sniffing them.
That's fair. That's fair. Stay off their hair. If you want to get in the comedy world, I gotta tell you, it's just as fucking petty and it's just as catty. You want to cut in, and they're like, "Yeah, get a load of this guy." Fucking, they'll give you the check spot, and you're like,
Well, that's because you got to
to
be smart, man. You got to be smart. You got to get in and get out, and you got to know. It's like the old school brothers that teach you. It's like you could be one of the boys, or you can make money. Ooh, what does that mean? Well, if you want to sit around at the bar and talk to all the other comedians or rub shoulders with them, how about you just go in, walk in there, do your job, kill it on stage, shake everybody's hand, make them laugh for 2 seconds, and get the fuck out.
That is some fucking great advice.
So if you're a wrestler, like nowadays,
Assuming you can get booked, because unfortunately, a lot of times getting booked when
if
you're
you
new to
get booked,
comedy is hobnobbing.
if you're getting booked, it's like for me, bro. For instance, I idolized and loved Shawn Michaels growing up as a kid, and I was around him a good amount of times. Never went up to him. Never wanted to get to know him. Never ever did, because I don't want to give him a reason not to like me. It would have hurt me. It would have killed me.
What is it?
I would have
Never meet your
hated
heroes.
it. I would have hated it if one of my heroes hated me. You know.
Wow.
So it's like, man, fuck that. I'd rather just give him no reason not to. You know, I'd rather that than get close to him. But the same goes for like, you know, kill him softly, kill him with kindness, do it quick, and get the fuck out.
Yeah.
So it's like for me nowadays in pro wrestling, like not to shit on anybody who loves pro wrestling or loves to talk about it or to sit around and drink beers and party after or hang out or go out or go to the bar. I don't mix it up with wrestlers.
Yeah.
You don't see me hanging out with them. You don't see me talking to them because it's not that I don't like you.
It's a job.
It's just my job.
Job.
And I used to go out and mix it up with all of them at the beginning. You know, I've been in this for now 10, 11 years.
And you think it was a net negative?
Oh, yeah, it definitely didn't help me any
Really?
over the years. Like, you know, if you get drunk around people, you know, every night on tour
Yeah, you gotta
for
do
2
something
weeks
stupid
and you're on the
eventually.
road with them for fucking a year straight, like something at some point.
Some guys that
or
want to
another.
get you drunk specifically to end up having that over you too.
Yep,
Especially that's
certainly.
that's an old school trick that some of the vets would do too. Would be like, you
Yeah.
know, if a guy like some real assholes in the minors, and it's a cutthroat world, but like if the kid was 22 or something like that, and there was like a 26, 27-year-old, and the 26, 27-year-old was the backup, they'd act like they were putting their arm around the kid and getting him hammered.
really sabotaging
Yeah,
him.
sabotaging him for
Yeah.
sure. It happens
Oh,
way
hell
more
yeah.
often
Rope
than
to
you
hang
think.
himself.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, bro.
Yeah.
And then there's the OGs who are just cool that'll let you know what time it is. Like I had great OGs. I had some cool guys that you know, I would have never made it in the business without, because I didn't know anything about wrestling when I got into it as far as the business goes. I only knew what I saw on TV.
Yeah.
I was a fan like you and you were. You know what I mean?
Shout some of those guys out before we go out.
It's a jungle, man. You got to
some
really
cool
see
ass
yourself through it.
OGs. For one, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Cool dude, huh?
Man.
Coolest
Fuck
dude.
yeah.
He's the only cool,
I like to hear that.
Bro, he's the only cool guy that will exceed cool expectations in the history I've ever met.
Really?
I've met everybody, bro, and him and Dave Chappelle rank as like 1, 2. Like, okay, he's like cooler than I thought he was.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what's up. You
Like-
gotta love that, isn't it? It's dope when your people, like your heroes or your people you're
Yeah.
fans of, are actually fucking dope.
Yeah,
in real
I only
life.
got
Yeah.
to meet The Rock once, so I can't call him an OG. But like Stone Cold, I got his number. If I called him, he'd probably answer. I just don't like to test
You
it.
don't
But
wanna
like,
press it.
I don't
Yeah.
need to press it. I don't
Yeah.
need to hurt myself again. Like Shawn Michaels. But Mark Henry, real cool,
World's strongest man.
world's
Yeah,
strongest man.
fucking-
The
yeah.
Big Show, bro. Big Show.
That's
real
what's up.
real good to me.
That's what's
These
up.
people would, look out and be like, hey, Enzo, like, you're drinking on the bus and there's some old heads on here who just are looking for a reason not to like you.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's
Be like,
real
okay,
shit.
maybe I won't drink. So, you know what I mean? You had to watch your ass at any and all times. There was just always, I couldn't be out in public with a beer in my hand. I couldn't be seen in a picture with a beer in my hand. You're a role model to children. And I'm so happy that the kids that grew up watching me are grown up now. So I can say whatever the fuck I
Yeah.
want, and I can
You could be the real one.
Yeah, man. I don't have to be that same role model I once was.
Well, fucking hey, this was a better podcast than the last one we did that got
For
fucking,
sure. Well, let me ask you before on your way out. What do you think? You think there's a future for pro wrestling without kayfabe? With everybody like,
Well, bro,
everyone's an
if you want to
influencer
see
now?
if you want to see me wrestle these days, tomorrow it'll be on the Reels network. I'm on a television show called Major League Wrestling. You got Major League Baseball on TV, you got Major League Soccer on TV. Nobody watches it because soccer sucks. How you doing? And then you got fucking Major League Wrestling now. I didn't sign any contracts, but I have a really great handshake deal with Court Bauer, the owner there. He's been a blessing, giving me the opportunity to have fun. And I have a blood feud rivalry right now with the smallest wrestler in the world named Micro Man. Dude, I've got... Mi gente. I've got unlimited jokes on this
Blood
guy.
feud.
I was like, if I had a dime for every time Micro Man could ride a roller coaster, I would have 0 dimes. It's like, oh man, I was going off on his ass. You little toilet climber. I get you on your toes like you're in a urinal. So anyway, yeah, I get the microphone for the first time in 5
So what is that? Where people can watch your
on
shit?
Reels Network, Major League Wrestling, MLW Underground premieres February 7th on the Reels Network and will be there every single Tuesday thereafter. The first thing you will see in Major League Wrestling on their television debut is me with a microphone in my hand.
Smart.
Let's fucking go.
Smart.
Yeah, they're smart, doing smart business. All right,
Yeah.
Big G.
Bro, this was an excellent
This is way better than the
episode.
one.
This was a lot of fun.
And it
man.
wasn't Gas Digital's fault, obviously. It was before we were with them. But we had one with Enzo.
So
and
the
it went
second
kaput.
lost episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And we got the Billy and Bobby one too.
I don't know where you guys are listening to this right now because we're definitely dark. We went dark for at least an hour there on YouTube. So if you're watching us on YouTube, definitely go check out gasdigitalnetwork.com. Use the code S&T to watch the full episode for free. Code S&T, watch the full episode for free. If you're on Spotify, Apple, we love you very much, man. This has been Slick and Thick with the one, the only, the real one, Enzo Amore, EA. Appreciate you coming in here, cuz.
Enzo.
All
Yeah.
love, baby.
For Mickey Gall, I'm Gerard Michaels, and this has
Jersey.
been Slick and Thick. Catch
We
you next
out.
week. Peace.
How you doing?